I didn't believe it, I'll be perfectly honest, but I was cautioned that I must never recommend fasting to a type 1 diabetic. Why do you think I was given that advice?
Now you're going to get me started, Sameer. This topic, there is no scientific literature, because I've searched for it. I've looked everywhere for it. I wanted to find proof because I was told I shouldn't be fasting. Why? Because I'm type 1 diabetic. I went out and searched for the literature. Couldn't find any. I couldn't find any literature, scientific evidence to convince me that I shouldn't be fasting simply because I had type 1 diabetes. Now, so it's perfectly safe for a type 1 diabetic to engage in either intermittent fasting, could be 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, or extended fasting up to 3 days, 48 hours, 72 hours. I have a Facebook group where for type 1 diabetics who will do some form of fasting. Some just do no more than 16, and some do 5-day fast, as I have done in the past. And we do it safely. Safety is important, but there is no scientific evidence why someone should not fast simply because they have type 1 diabetes. Now, I don't want any all type 1s now listening to this just to go out there and decide, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to eat and I'm just going to keep taking all my insulin as usual and hope that everything will work out well. No, safety is very, very important. If type 1 diabetics obviously take 2 types of insulin. Background insulin, just to provide some basal level of insulin to keep their body functioning, to keep them alive, basically, because without insulin without insulin, we wouldn't survive for long. So that background insulin is a small dose of insulin that just covers them and keeps them alive, keeps their other hormones functioning well, their other glands functioning well, and that's that. So that's the background insulin. And on top of that, every time they eat, and whatever they eat, be it carbohydrates, and hopefully type 1 diabetics aren't eating carbohydrates, because that's the one food you really should not need, and you have no need for it, no physiological need for it. But even if you're eating protein or fat or both, because they usually come together in nature, proteins and fats, you're still going to need some amount of insulin to cover that, right? So if you're not eating, you're fasting, you're not going to take that bolus insulin. That bolus insulin is basically your meal insulin, your quick-acting insulin to cover you for the meal. If you're not eating, you don't need to take that insulin. But you still have your background insulin on board. You've still taken that. If you're taking injections, you may have taken your nighttime injection, morning injection, or if you take only 1 injection per day, you would have taken that because your long-acting maybe covers you for 24 hours, and that's fine. So whatever your long-acting insulin strategy is, you still need to stick to that. You need your long-acting insulin, but what you're doing is by not eating, you're actually eliminating your additional insulin, your bolus insulin, your meal insulin. And in the ideal world, you should maintain normal blood sugars. However, that's in the ideal world. Quite often we find that as you pass the 18 hours, in some people it's the 16-hour mark, in some people it's the 20-hour mark. Now people realize that, okay, I had a blood sugar rise earlier on. That was probably the last of the sugar that your liver glycogen was dumping into your system, right? And then they go, well, now so my blood sugars are so low now. And so now they realize that, so that's the point at 18 hours, when they do it repeatedly, they find out that, okay, so at 18 hours, I'm depleting my glycogen stores. So I no longer have glucose on board. Now they will find themselves more insulin sensitive. Now, because they don't have any glucose on board, they're totally relying for energy, for fuel, they're relying on ketones. And so now they may find that they definitely will at some point start reducing their background insulin too. They're going to require less of that. So it's not just eliminating your mealtime insulin because you're not eating. At some point, and you have to find out where that point is for yourself through experimentation, but safe experimentation, where that point is for you. So when you realize, now I feel myself insulin sensitive, now I feel like I'm dropping low at this point. It's the 18th hour for me, it's the 20th hour for me. So I'm now insulin sensitive. So next time I do a 70-hour fast, for example, that's the point. I'm going to start reducing my background insulin. It takes trial and error, but then that's how type 1 diabetes management works.
Yeah.
You have to work on yourself, because your doctor isn't really living in your body. You own your body. You own your own health. You understand your body better than anyone else out there. And I can tell you, no two type 1 diabetics are completely alike. No two people are alike. If I do a 36-hour fast today and document everything, and I do have blogs, by the way, and if you don't mind putting my blog link.
Of course, we'll put them in the show notes.
Description. So when I do a 36-hour fast, Sameer, so two 36-hour fasts, they're not the same. They don't go the same way. So first time around, I might just find that, okay, so I reduce. Now, so we're not talking meal insulin, so we're not talking quick-acting insulin, because that's out of the question because you're not eating. So it kind of makes management really easy, because now we have less insulin to play with. All you're playing with is your background insulin. So I might find that, okay, so I'm dropping low now at the 16th hour. Whereas the last time I did a 36-hour fast, I was still sort of normal at the 16th hour, and then I started dropping low at the 20th hour. So you just have to work at it, because no two fasts are alike. No two type 1 diabetics are alike, but also no two fasts go exactly the same way with type 1s. So
this is fascinating. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just going to say, you have to be safe. If you're low, and of course, you have to define what that low is for you. I would say definitely anything under 3.6 or under 65, treat it. Take a glucose tab, bring your blood sugar back up to normal or above 4, above 70 or 72, and then continue to fast. And people always ask me, okay, so I relied on glucose tablet, I had glucose because I was low, and now did that break my fast? I tell them no, because you didn't ingest calories, you didn't ingest digestible food, you just took glucose to bring your blood sugar to a normal level so that you would survive, basically. You actually save your own life and then continue to fast. That doesn't break your fast.
Yeah.